Hello, creatives. For those of you that are new, I'm Linda Marcille. This is my channel, Beginner's Mind, Art Mind. It's a channel geared towards people with chronic illness, chronic pain, grief, struggling with grief, just any of life's struggles. I mean, life, really. So it's a channel for everybody, I suppose. But to use, to develop and use your creative practice daily to help cope with life's difficulties. So I am in the middle of a health thing, and I've been talking to my longtime viewers about that, and I've been sharing a little bit about that over on my Patreon. And things change, like my channel is changing as I'm going through this process. Every new set of tests that I go through shows something that triggers a set of other tests. And I don't, I don't think it'll come to a surprise to anybody, especially I'm in my 60s, especially people my age or older that are having a mysterious health condition that things keep showing up. It makes you think of death. And when you, at my age, you start thinking of not living forever, like this is going to end. It radically changes the way you look at things. I mean, it's making me appreciate these fall colors, this amazing, beautiful, warm, extended fall weather that we've been having. It's like a religious experience. Everything is like kind of appearing sacred to me, and it's shifting my art. Now, I've always been attracted to expressionism. Well, maybe not always. No, I think the older I get, the more attracted I get to abstract expressionism, German expressionism, kind of dark, edgy, mysterious stuff. I just looked at my hair. I actually wasn't planning on filming, kind of looking pretty bad, but whatever, it's okay. The only way, when I'm feeling this lousy, the only way a video is going to get made is if I have a good day or I'm feeling better, or if I just do it spontaneously. So that's that going forward. That's what my channel is going to be, is either very spontaneous, or if it's a planned video, it'll be when I have a day where I'm feeling a little better. But anyways, so I'm really craving getting more experimental in my art. And I have been for a while. I mean, my patrons know that, but I get stuck. And I know it's the social media thing. Like if I wasn't showing anybody my work and I wasn't making YouTube videos and I didn't have a Patreon, I think I would be creating very different work right now. But I gotta do it. It's like if I don't really explore now and get crazy, and I don't mean like, it's just so hard to put in words. It's an experiential thing. I mean, I think that's what German expressionism draws me to German expressionism. And yes, it's dark, it's messy, it's weird, but it's such raw emotion. It's such unfiltered raw emotion. There is no way they're trying to make those paintings pretty. The gestural marks, the brush marks, you can see the hand of the artist so clearly. You can see their suffering. You can see their struggle in that work. I want more of that. I want to play with more of that. So if you saw the last portrait I did, what did I do that in? So the last few paintings I've done, I've tightened up more than I meant to. This was one of them, and this one's okay, but still I want to go looser than this. This was another one, tightened up, I mean, it's a pretty painting, but I want something different. I'll show you in a minute what I'm talking about. I'm really drawn to Linda Christensen's work, Jennifer Pochinski's work. There's so many of them. But anyways, I'm going to show you an example of Jennifer's work on my iPad in a minute. And then I did this one. I mean, I like the painting. It's a pretty painting. I love the sweater, yada, yada. But I mean, I feel like we can all paint pretty paintings. Like we all have the ability with enough practice to paint pretty paintings. But are we all able to take what's inside of us, to take our struggles and our triumphs and really put that onto a page in a way where we let go of caring if it means anything to anybody else or if anybody else can tell what it is. So I started working on some drawings for some paintings, and of course they're tighter drawings. I mean, they're loose, tighter drawings, if that makes any sense. But this was one of them. I did this on September 28th, and there's a story behind it. It was a photograph on Pinterest. It says, Magdalena Henroth with 3 hand-raised jackdaws in 1919. I just loved the photograph. So I kind of did a loose sketch of it. And then the other one is this one. And this one, I just we watched a documentary on cardinals, how cardinals survive the winter and everything about cardinals. So I drew this girl with a cardinal on her shoulder and holding some bittersweet. And I like the drawings. I'm pleased with the drawings. As a matter of fact, I'm so pleased with the drawings that what I did was I blew them up. I scanned them and blew them up so that I can put them on a larger piece of paper. But they are not, so here's my conundrum. These are not what I'm thinking of in terms of loose, but I like the drawings. So I think what I'm going to do, because I can take these scans and I can take my, I have my, is this it? This is my Lyra non-water soluble graphite. And I can take this and just rub it all over the back and trace this. And then I can do it again. So if I paint these crazy loose and do crazy things with them, no harm, no foul, because I can always trace them again and do a tighter painting if I want to later. The thing is, am I going to do it? Am I going to do it? I'm going to hold myself accountable to stay loose. So last night I did a little bit. This is the paper that I'm going to trace them onto. It's Mixed Media Fabriano Dry and Wet Techniques. It's 108 pound 9x12. So this is what I've been doing my paintings on lately. And I have not been gessoing it. I like the feel of painting on raw paper. I don't like how slippery it gets when you paint on gessoed paper. I used to always gesso my paper, but now I like the way the paint sinks right in, onto raw paper. So that's the plan for that, is to trace those onto there. But what was I saying? This was one that I did last night after looking at a bunch of Jennifer Pochinski paintings and being inspired by her style. I just did this crazy watercolor. Oh, this is my dry gouache from my dry gouache palette. And I didn't draw it out. I just went at it. I didn't even draw it with a paintbrush. I just literally started blocking in shapes. And it's pretty funky. And I really like it. And the funny thing is it's hard because when you post stuff like this on Instagram, I'm not on Facebook anymore. I left Facebook, quite a while ago. But when you post stuff like this on Instagram or Facebook or wherever, and you have been painting pretty little tight paintings like this, your audience kind of freaks out and is like, what is she doing? What's wrong? What's wrong with her? What's she doing? I got to get over that. They're not going to get as many likes as my traditional work does. I got to get over the like thing. Yeah, I just do, because this made me, painting this felt so good and made me so much happier than painting this. Painting this was fiddly and it made me tired. I love the painting. I love the symbolism of the raven and the owl and this beautiful lady. And if somebody else painted it, I would have seen it and said, oh, that's such a pretty painting. But experientially, it was fiddly. I was tired afterwards. It took me 2 days because I can only work for short periods of time. I get very tired and I have pain and I can't work for long periods of time. This literally was like, I don't know, what, 5-10 minutes? If 10 minutes in my art nest downstairs last night while Dawn was watching TV. This makes me feel so happy. I just love it. But there's this line, these women that I admire that do this really crazy work. They know their stuff. They're good artists. They get enough right. They get their proportions right. They know anatomy. So they get enough right so that even though it's very abstract, figurative work, it's believable and it's good art. It's not just messy. It's not silly. It's not just sloppy. It's good art. You know what I mean? And I struggle with that fine line. Like, when am I just making a mess? Which is okay. I do that. We all need to do that. We all need to allow ourselves to make a mess. But there's something that I want to achieve. There's something that I want to try to figure out. And so I'm going to start practicing that. And, you know, if you followed me long enough, you know I go on tangents and I fall madly in love with some idea or theme that I'm going to do and then squirrel. You know, I see something else that inspires me and I'm off. But I have felt this passion for a long time. So we'll see. I'm going to play around with it and I will take you on my journey. I will continue to do demos on Patreon and take my patron members on the journey. I don't know how much I can video, you know, moments where I have good moments, where I have energy. I have to go for a lot more tests. So, and still see some more. I got to go see a hematologist and have another, whatever. I have to go do more tests. So that tires me out. So when I can, I'm going to show up on both Patreon and YouTube and kind of spontaneously show you what I'm up to. I do have a couple of collaboration videos that I will need to do through November and December, but aside from that, I'm going to play and I'm going to take you along on the journey and I'm going to see if I can find myself, my true self. You know, now that I'm in the last chapter, quarter, they divided into quarters of my life. You know, let's see what's in here. Let's see what we can excavate and put onto paper. It's only fear. It's only fear that stops you or I from creating authentically, really authentically. I mean, a lot of times I think we think we're creating authentically, but we still are. There's that thing in our minds where we're creating for. We're going to post, you know, we're creating for. And I'm not saying everybody, there may be some pushback in the comments. We're saying, I don't do that. That's great. I admire you. I bow to you. I really do. I am a trauma survivor, childhood trauma survivor. I got issues. I got stuff. I got baggage and I carry it with me. And I do carry a lot of fear about people not liking what I'm creating, people not liking me or me offending people or hurting people. There's just a lot of baggage. And I kind of want to get over that and just try to again, I like the word excavate my truer self through some crazy artwork, fun and crazy artwork, expressive, very expressive. Anyways, I'm going to flip this around. I'm going to try to take my camera and film some of Jennifer's work on the iPad to show you what I'm talking about. If I can do it quick enough, I'll find a Linda Christensen too and show you that. And then I'm not going to film the whole thing because that tends to really make me tired when I do that. I'm just going to go at it and see how it goes. And yeah, I'll show you different moments. Okay, I'm going to try to get this with as few reflections on it as I can, but this is an example. It's Jennifer. Here's how she spells her name. Jennifer Pochinski. And here's like one of her paintings. Look at that brushwork. Oh my God. Look at the chair. Oh, look at the face. I mean, look, it's all just so amazing. So let's see. What's another one? Like this, these two characters. on the couch. There's so little information there, but there's enough information there. Oh, here's one of hers. Let's see. I hope I'm not wiggling. Look, I mean, look at this guy. Look at this. What is happening there? Wow. But it's accurate, right? The parts that are there, there's enough accuracy. She's amazing. She's absolutely amazing. So there's another one. Like, look what happened to his head. Where's his head, or her? Is it a her or he? Him, I guess. I mean, these faces. I don't know if I could ever get that loose. Wow, expressive. I mean, but I do love it. I really do love it. And look at the background. That's just amazing, amazing work. Yeah. There's some other artists mixed in here. Pinterest always does that. When you're trying to look up a singular artist, they mix things up for some reason. But I think you can I think this is a David Paul Warner. Oh, I thought that was a David, can't think of his last name. I think it is one of his paintings. David Pierce, is it? Yeah, I think this is one of his paintings too. I think it's David Pierce. I could be wrong. It's not signed. It's hard to say. David Park, sorry. David Park. Not David Pierce. I love David Park's work too. Let me see if I can find like a Linda. I think her last name is Christensen. Look at this. Who's that? That is crazy. Wow. Anyways, amazing work. Yeah, this is a David Park. Just, I mean, it's accurate figurative study, but look at that face. Holy cow. Yeah. So anyways, if you look up German Expressionism, you'll find a lot of interesting stuff on your iPad. And maybe it'll introduce you to some new artists. That's another David Park. Look at those brush strokes. Look at that chunky brushwork. Anyways, so let me see if I can find Linda's work. This is a great one. I don't know. This says Terry St. John, if that's accurate. Look at this figure and look at those dogs. I mean, you can clearly see it's a street scene. He's walking his dogs, but when you literally zoom in, the looseness is incredible. Like when you're painting that, that's not feeling like a dog when you're painting that. But when the painting is all put together and it's done, I mean, this face. But when it's all put together and it's done, there's enough accuracy there. It's authentic enough that you can absolutely read that painting. Just amazing. This is a Linda Christensen, and there's the spelling of her name. Look at that face. I don't know. I don't know if I could do that. But yet, look at the trees, the tightness of the trees in the background. The thing I like about Linda Christensen is she tends to combine really tighter painting. Like that dress is painted pretty tightly in the bottom part. The folds are there. If that was on a tighter, that could be a tight painting. And then it just sort of goes real loose on the top of the figure. I think this is another one of hers. Yeah, Linda Christensen. Look at this front figure. Very little information there, but when it's put together with everything else, and in the background, those figures, very little information. And yet look at the table. The table is a perfectly executed still life. So she's totally mixing it up. And I like that. I like that aspect of having some tighter things and some looser things. So this is the kind of work that's inspiring me. I don't I don't think that I could get that loose right away. I mean, I was pretty loose with this. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But this is my setup. I'm going to take one of these, put the graphite pencil on the back of it, and trace it onto my paper. I have put my paper, taped my paper onto a gator board. This was the palette that I was working off of when I was painting the other day, those paintings that I just showed you. And it's just too small for the size painting I'm working on. So I'm going to use up what's on here. I just put out a ton of paint. I normally just use like a split primary palette. So warm yellow, cool yellow, warm red, cool red, same with the blue. A couple of greens I add sometimes, and I add a couple of earth tones. I see one thing I didn't add that I normally like to add is yellow ochre, and then a warm white and a cool white, and this is Payne's Gray. So this is a lot of colors for me because I added some mixed, blues, some turquoise, greens. So we'll see, because I just don't know what I'm going to use yet. But we'll see what happens with this experiment. I mean, now I'm kind of nervous because I just showed you all these paintings and I don't know if I can pull anything remotely as amazing off as those. But I'm going to do me. I'm going to do whatever comes out of me, and that's going to be the right thing to do. But I will show you my journey along the way. Okay, so here is my traced version. This is, I just rubbed the graphite on the back and traced it onto my paper that I'm going to paint it on. It's kind of light, but you can kind of see it. Looks like I forgot to put the front of his body in there, but that's all right. And I did forget to say the paints are my Liquitex Basics paints. That's what I'm going to be using. I really love these paints. I love them so much because they're more like an eggshell finish. They're not shiny. They're not as flat as gouache, but they definitely do not have a shine to them. So that's what I'm going to be using. And I'm just going to first block. Okay, I just realized I never stopped and did any filming during this because I got so involved in it. It is so hard to tell, when you're doing this yourself. I see areas where I tightened up. I also see areas where I stayed a lot looser than I normally do. I still have to put they have, apparently jackdaws have blue eyes. So I have to put the blue eye in there. And I'm not sure what color I'm going to make her blouse yet. But yeah, it's tricky. It's very tricky. I mean, it's obviously not as loose as hers or theirs. There's different artists, but wow. Yeah, it's definitely loose for me. Definitely wicked loose for me. That's a crazy nose. Yeah, it's interesting. It's really interesting painting this way. Look how loose the hands are. Oh, I got to put her wedding ring on. She has a wedding ring. So I have to decide what color I'm going to do the background and her blouse. I have a feeling her blouse is going to be like a whitish color with some other colors in there, but not sure about the background yet. We'll see. But I'm using this palette as the mixing palette. So that is like a hot mess. It's kind of fun looking. But it's helping to keep this palette really neat, which is fun. And it's giving me a bit of a mother color. Where all of the colors that are in the painting are all mixed together. So they're kind of all going together. But there she is. I'm so tempted to do things to the face. But I'm not going to because if I do, I'm just going to tighten up completely on it. You know, I've been pretty good about laying the brush down, putting a mark in, and then not going back. And if I do anything to it at this point, I'm going to muck that up. I'm not going to have those fresh brush marks, but it's just so hard to find the balance between how tight you get and how loose is loose. Like, I don't know, it's hard to even put into words, but you know I didn't go crazy as loose as those artists, but did I go too tight so that the looseness doesn't work? I guess that's what I'm trying to say. There's a point when you've gotten too tight with certain things that it no longer feels loose. And I don't think... Okay, there it is after the tape peel. I did a reel of the tape peel, so maybe I'll paste that in here, but that's what I did with the background. Just really abstract with the suggestion of a landscape. There's my jackdaws with the blue eyes. I had never heard of a jackdaw before. Juvenile jackdaws, because these were young that she raised, so I looked up a picture of a juvenile jackdaw and was amazed by their gorgeous blue eyes. But anyways, there's her face. I hope, I hope my combination of looseness and rendering is a good match. I gotta be honest, Don came up and he didn't like it. I was a little crushed, but I mean, it's what it is. I'm learning how to do this. So if this one isn't a hit, then that's fine, but I'm pleased with it. I have to say, while I was working on it, I wasn't sure, her face, I wasn't sure. But then as the rest of it came together, those feathers are really loose. Her hands are really loose. There was so much temptation to go in here and, make knuckles and, make a nose more nosy and all those kind of things. But I didn't. I'm really proud of how much I was able to let go and how loose I was able to leave that background. This was a little tough for me to leave this suggestion of a sky holes or whatever, so messy. But I really wanted the background to be very loose, so I left it that way. So that's the palette afterwards. Definitely got some mother color going there. Every color in this painting has all of the colors in it. And I like it. I'm happy with it. Don may come to like it later. Sometimes when he originally, he just came home for lunch, and sometimes when he first looks at a painting, he's not sure. But then after I do the tape peel and we sit with it downstairs for a while, he'll go, I don't know what it was that I didn't like. I actually do like it. So we'll see. But I'm real pleased with it. I'm real pleased. I think there's more looseness to come for me. And even looser than that, possibly. But I'm happy with the mix between the two of rendering and looseness for now. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But okay, guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. It's so funny. I'm so self-conscious about saying guys now because somebody really ripped into me. I don't know, maybe it was a couple of months ago about guys, and they said they unsubscribed, and they said, guys... women watch this channel too. She goes, bye, guy, because she was unsubscribing. And I was so touched because one of my subscribers stood up for me in the comments and told her that that was in vocabulary, that was a guy saying that term included women and men. And the troll girl deleted her after the viewer stood up for me. The troll girl deleted her own comment. So I thought that was pretty funny. So whoever you are, if you're watching this one, thank you so much for sticking up for me. That felt so good to read somebody else, because I was apologizing to the woman. I said I was sorry I offended her. And so I'm a little self-conscious every time I say, okay, guys. When I say guys, I mean guys and gals. But Anyways, so I have learned that there's a new thing called hype, and I learned about it a couple of months ago, and I keep forgetting to mention it. And one of my kind viewers reminded me last time that when I ask you guys to click like and subscribe, I should tell you to also click hype, because when you click hype, you tell YouTube that you want to push my video forward to more viewers. I mean, it's actually, that's what it's for. And my last video did really well. It's stayed at #1 all week, and #1 out of my videos. And it got a lot of hypes. A lot of you pushed hype on that. So you actually pushed that video forward in a direct way, much more than I think a like or subscribe does. You actually pushed it forward. So thank you so much. That meant a lot to me to have a video that did so good. So one thing I forgot to mention to you guys is that all of these paintings are available on my Fine Art America account as prints. So you can purchase them as tote bags, pillows, phone cases, fine art prints on canvas, on metal, on paper, framed. There's so many different ways that you can order them on Fine Art America. So you can order the prints there. And if you are interested in the original, please reach out to me, DM me, and I can give you the information on how to purchase the original painting. I keep forgetting to mention that to you guys, but I am constantly adding more of my paintings to be available as prints on Fine Art America. So find out, search your heart, find out what it is that you really, truly want to create. You, just you, with no fear, how you want to express who you are without worrying about what anybody else will think. It's the one beautiful, true gift of a thing that's inside of you that needs to come out. It's like what God gave you and what He meant for you to create before you die. And do that. Do that one thing. And I will see you guys in the next video. Mwah. Bye for now.
Like